Welcome to the Phi Life Podcast. I'm John Barban, and with me is Brad Pilon, and today we're going to talk about a powerlifting meet we just recently attended and Brad competed at. Brad did a push-pull, so that means he did a bench press and a deadlift, and there was other parts of the meet where there was bench press, deadlift, and a squat, so that was different. So basically we're just going to talk about how Brad did at the meet and kind of what goes into a powerlifting meet and sort of the different subculture that powerlifting is all about.
Yeah, it's I remember when I did the first bodybuilding show, and previous to the show, you kind of just think the bodybuilding is just posing on stage, right? And then when you do the show, you realize that holy crap, like posing on stage is just way harder than you think. It really is an art that takes practice, and then posing without a mirror versus posing with a mirror is a world of difference, and being able to hold the pose and just prepping for the contest in those last couple hours, there's a lot more to it than just getting lean and showing up on stage, right? Powerlifting is the same. Like, it blew me away the amount of prep, procedure, and I guess procedure is a little bit of tradition, a little bit of just sort of, I don't know, randomness thrown in there. But also, it's just that there's an art to picking. I don't know how many people are familiar with it, but you basically have your bench press and your dead. I didn't do squats. And you have 3 lifts, right? So you get to lift 3 times, and then you get to pick your heaviest of those lifts. Sounds simple, but the prep for it and picking your numbers, and it really opened my eyes that the actual event itself takes a lot of skill and art. It's not just a matter of getting strong and going and competing.
Yeah, when we were talking about this with some other powerlifters who were explaining that the initial learning curve is pretty big there. The first time you're at a meet, you don't realize. I mean, it's a big difference to pause a bench press on your chest at the gym just to try it, and to do it at a meet when you have a judge telling you when it's your turn to push. So it's the biofeedback. You don't have that in the gym. You don't have somebody else telling you when to actually push the bar.
Exactly. I actually missed my last bench, so I nailed the 286 in my second attempt, and that was kind of just supposed to be something that I was comfortable with. And then I was going on to my next lift, and it was like a 3 or something like that, 305, 310, and I brought that down, and the pause felt like it was forever. And then I watched the tape that you guys took of it, and it was your pretty standard pause. But since I'm not the one in control of when that person's going to say go, it's a very interesting sort of psychological battle. And if you didn't stay 100% tight and 100% ready to push, when that person says go, if there's a brief minute of hesitation where you're trying to get powered up to do it again, you won't make it. And I didn't. So that part alone, from training in your basement, getting strong, even training in the gym, without having an outside cue to bench, let me tell you, it's much, much different.
Yeah, and that's the difference between gym strength and competition strength. A lot of powerlifters mention that besides the equipment and stuff, you didn't use any equipment, but just learning to push with somebody else telling you when to go. Like you said, you could totally miss it even if the bar is just slightly kind of lowering into your chest when you're at the bottom. Like, it has to be perfectly still. And so the judge will just sit there and wait till it's perfectly still, and all of that time you're losing energy trying to control the bar. So it's a different thing. It's a totally different feeling. It's not at all what it feels like to be working out in the gym.
Yeah, very different. And then I found in the deadlift, even though you don't have someone telling you when to pick the bar up, right? You only have about a minute, and you're not allowed to be near the bar when it's being loaded. If you saw what happened when I was standing watching load the bar, I got yelled at to move away from it, right? So that was a little awkward. But then you just sort of walk up, you look at the bar for a second and pick it up. And you're out of your comfort zone, right? So, the first time I deadlifted, I reached down, grabbed the bar, and I'm like, wow, this bar is way thicker than the one I use at home, right? And so instantly I'm in the middle of a psychological game with myself, right? At being like, it doesn't matter how thick the bar is, Pilon, just pick the damn thing up, right? So that one was extremely difficult because even after I did my first pull, and I think what was the first pull, like 315, 320, something like that, I ran into an issue there where I had only been training at home with 310 pounds of weight for just reps or with chains on it because that's all the weight I owned, right? So everything above that